not again. Oh, hello. Hey, that phone. Well, at least I won't be entirely alone for this one. May as well record this whole thing. Even though this is like, what, the 15th time I've had to speed run these back rooms. Ugh. Oh, well, anyway. Hi there. Well, welcome to the back rooms. I'll do my best to kind of talk about what's going on in here and get us on through. We'll be starting from level 0 and seeing where we go from there. Anyway, on to the show. Alright, my friends. So, with all of the fun roleplay aside, just to give you a small bit of information on the series before we begin here, if, say, you are interested in the Backrooms, just getting started, or, somehow I'm your first Backrooms video, then hello. Or if you're coming over from the movie and you're more interested in the Wikidot side and to see, what a lot of people have added to the Backrooms lore, then hey, this series is going to be for you. Primarily, I will just be reading off what is on the webpage itself, with a few of my own anecdotes tossed in there, and maybe we will review over a few other things if I happen to come across them. But for the most part, it will just be sort of an audio book of reading off what we have going on here. I'll have a little bit more information for you at the end, but hey, may as well go ahead and get started, right? So, without further ado, you awaken to the grating sound of buzzing fluorescent lights and the rancid stench of soggy carpet. A barren, sprawling maze stretches before you, insidiously yellow, frustratingly random. You blink. The halls have changed their positions, still clinging to their vacant stillness. Tread carefully, wanderer. This place has just as much. Sorry. Tread carefully, wanderer. This place is just as much a grave as it is a threshold. Survival difficulty, Class 1. Safe, secure, and unconfirmed entities. Often nicknamed the Yellow Hell, Level 0 presents itself as a labyrinth resembling the backrooms, commonly found in offices or retail outlets. It has earned its moniker from the sickly color of the wallpaper and the mildew-ridden carpets that decorate the level. Level description. Those unlucky enough to slip through the soft creases of reality might find themselves lost in the aberrant passages of Level 0. This is the first level of the Backrooms, and often the last for those who find their way in. Many caught unprepared as they stumbled through mile after mile of randomly segmented rooms, hallways, stairs, each as grueling as the last. This becomes a torturous endeavor considering the mind-numbing monotony of the journey. Infinity is incomprehensible to the human mind, and yet it encapsulates every aspect of Level 0, from the variations in its architecture to its sprawling size. It feeds into this shattering emptiness, infecting the mind with malignant delirium, which slowly consumes one to their very core. The dark echoes of liminality grip one's heart, feeding the madness. Hey, listen, yellow's a pretty color, so I think it'll be fine. It would be alright in here. Yeah, sure, sure. Anyway, those who are into the those who enter become wanderers, trapped in a sea of isolation and paranoia. Their lives often cut short by dehydration and starvation. Aberrations. Level 0 is a labyrinth in nature. Traversal can be a challenging endeavor due to the massive expansiveness of the level, and the fact that the maze will change and shift as one progresses. The longer one spends amongst its haphazardly arranged halls, the more likely one is to encounter anomalies in the architecture. There is no surefire way to escape these haunting corridors. Perseverance is one's best chance to make it out alive. Alright, well, yeah, just keep on going, my friends. We'll get there. Oh, hey, look. Looks like we have a bit of information down here. Sorry, I wasn't right on the right thing. Anyway, structural. Despite the all-encompassing modality of Level 0, there exists a myriad of variations in its architecture. While this is not an exhaustive list, These are the most common structural abnormalities. The arches. Ooh, let's see here. So, the arches. The first notable differentiation is pale walls with archway holes decorating them. While not particularly notable beyond the aesthetics, they generally show up in dead ends or during transition rooms. Carpet depth is notably extensive in these sections, making traversal potentially more challenging depending on exhaustion and how much fluid is trapped in the carpet. Some archways can be just wide enough for a small person to rest on, if only briefly enough to grant reprieve from the wet floors. Archway rooms are the most stable. They tend not to shift or change behind you, which can help wanderers orient themselves. We have a nice little picture of it here too, and looks like we have a little anecdote from somebody. A little note here on this arch. Let's see. It felt like I had walked for days. Maybe I had. It's hard to say. There's so much of these damn sameness that after a while it all just blends together into one big yellow blur. All I know is my feet ached more than I thought possible, and those arches were the first and only respite I had before eventually tumbled into level 1. My feet were swollen, I was dehydrated, and I had a sinus infection that wouldn't quit for weeks. But I survived, whatever it's worth. Heck yeah, good job. On to the pillars. So, occasionally, one will come across massive pillar rooms. They can sometimes stretch for miles and will always appear in the lattice or grid pattern. While generally easy to explore, they can be extremely tedious due to their size. Carpets tend to be shallower in these sections, potentially making them inviting for sleep as there's less moisture on the floor. Though many have reported that while exploring the pillar rooms, the paths behind them shift often, leading to asymmetrically placed pillars and potentially confusing pathways. It is recommended that a wanderer selects a heading and commits to following it. It was my third time in Zero, probably my longest too. As I was prepared as you can be, all things considered, but it's a hard to prep for a place like that. On day 2 I wandered into a pillar room, what looked like endless rows of perfectly spaced columns. It took me 14 days to find my way out. You can remember the tricks they teach us from them. Sleep facing the direction you're traveling. Use your left hand as a guide, but none can prepare you for a room that effing big. Thank God for almond water. It's hard to imagine to survive here there without it. So, quick fun fact. Almond water is basically our survival, and hopefully we find some, because if we don't, well, might be carpet juice for us. Anyway, holes. As one explores, they may come across pits that lead deep into the floor. They tend to be pitch black, and light generally cannot penetrate more than a few feet into the darkness. Like the pillars, they appear in close groups and form a grid pattern, which usually makes them simple to bypass. Some hole clusters can be large or clumped densely, making falling in an enormous risk. It is unknown what happens to wanderers after falling in, however none have reported doing so and surviving. If extremely fatigued or dehydrated, one should avoid pit sections entirely, as they become even more dangerous. I don't think the holes lead anywhere. Folks try to find meaning in stuff. They hear voices, feel a pull, see a blue light, all kinds of stories. But that's just our minds trying to find meaning in the meaningless, forcing logic into something illogical. You learn quickly that these things here in the back room don't always make sense. There's rarely logic or meaning. It exists beyond these concepts. All right. Oh man, this next section looks a little dark. That's okay. You got me, buddy. Don't worry. I have virtually infinite regeneration. I may not survive the fight at first, but I will come back. So, the blackout zones are entire sections of level 0 devoid of lighting. These sections are extremely hard to traverse, as they are constantly shift behind and have low visibility. Once inside, it can be extremely difficult to escape, as one gets easily lost in the darkness. Survivors of the blackout zones have detailed rough textures on the walls and intense silence with the absence of buzzing lights. The floors here may be recessed, often filling with ankle-deep fluid. If entered, sprint toward the first glimmer of light, or attempt to follow any buzzing sound exit is located. Ugh, got a little tongue tied there. Oh, no, that was just carpet juice. Sorry. Hey, listen, this is a little tasty. As grating as they are, those damn lights, you almost miss them when they're gone. You can try to follow the buzzing, but the problem is the sound doesn't stay in one place. Sometimes it feels like you're getting closer, and then suddenly it's behind you again. Oh man, hey, look, what is this bright red light over here? Hey, it says go toward the light, so we're going, wait, this doesn't look good. Uh-oh. Stay behind me. Anyway, the red rooms. Oh, must be avoided entirely, as they are extremely difficult, if not impossible, to escape. They are sections of level 0 that have been disconnected from the whole, completely unbreachable once fully entered, like a closed loop. Even remaining in proximity to them can cause adverse psychological effects, such as severe claustrophobia and acute paranoia. One can gauge distance to the red rooms by either recognizing the color shift to red, or if the carpets become thick, sticky, and very coarse. Another indication is the sections of wallpaper peeling to reveal crimson color underneath. The best course of action is to avoid them entirely. One should simply turn back and walk away. Admittedly, the likelihood of avoiding, let alone escaping, the red rooms, if you come across them, is next to nothing. By the time most realize they're in them, it's already far too late. Oh, wait. No, hey, look, we got a little lucky, guys. We're just, gonna pop on out of there. Sweet, yeah, don't mind me, I got a good nose on me. So, we're safe. The configuration of Level 0 is ever-changing patchwork of architectural absurdity, worsened by an effect colloquially known as the peripheral shift. Man, I'm a dog, and these are big words, okay? I'm sorry. Whenever not directly observed, the layout of the level can warp, stretch, and rearrange itself. Sometimes the entirely altering days of traveled hallways. This is extremely disorienting and, more importantly, disheartening to new wanderers and seasoned explorers alike. The effect is not constant, and there are areas where it will be less likely to occur, though this only compounds the perplexity of the yellow hell. I remember I spent what had to be 2 days mapping a stretch of halls. I thought I was real clever. I marked corners, counted the lights, tried to keep some kind of reference. But when I finally stopped to rest and looked back the way I came, the hallway was completely different. 2 days of walking gone in a blink. You can walk for minutes, hours, maybe days, and the second you look away, the level decides those steps never happened. That's a lot to take in when you first get here. The lack of continuity, I assume, is too much for some people. It almost was for me. Man. Well, good thing we're not alone, right? Yeah. So, oh, hey, some noises. There's a plentiful amount of ambient noise permeating level 0 at all times. The major source of this is buzzing lights, the volume of which can fluctuate severely and randomly. At times, the noise becomes loud enough to cause hearing damage if exposed to it for too long. During these spikes, wanderers should cover their ears and keep moving to escape the sound. Wanderers have also reported that other anomalous sounds, such as indistinct whispering and familiar voices calling out to them. One may hear scratching sounds from behind the walls, as if something is sharpening its nails. The sounds can follow one down long hallways, but there's been no reports of anything causing it. One is advised to ignore it and move on. Whether or not these audible anomalies are the result of hallucinations or an undiscovered phenomenon is unknown. Alright, the carpets. Man, I've been drinking a lot of juice out of these carpets. I wonder if there's anything bad about that. The carpets, almost entirety of the floor within level 0 is covered with a tight-knit, Berber-style carpeting. Though appearing yellow in photographs, likely due to the harsh lighting, the color is closer to brownish beige. When the view is isolated, the fibers in the carpets are composed of an unknown synthetic material and feel somewhat abrasive despite the persistent moisture. Although changing texture and shading slightly throughout the vast levels, the flooring is seamless, consisting of a single continuous piece of carpet. Little is known about the origin of fluids inundating the carpets of level 0. Samples have demonstrated a wide variety of liquids such as salt water, brackish water, alkaline water, liquid pain, formalin, and even slurries containing human and non-human DNA. Fudge. Well, Notably, the carpets are not edible, and the almond water is tainted, so it is advised not bother with consuming chunks of floor, even in desperation. We see it all the time in base alpha. People barely make it out of there alive and then come stumbling into the base half delirious, severely dehydrated and starving. Imagine surviving the low hell just to die for some unknown carpet-borne illness or blockage caused by the fibers. Please, don't eat the carpets. Alright, fine. Isolation. The phenomenon aptly named the isolation effect has been observed by those trapped in level 0. Even if two individuals enter level 0 side by side, they will never be able to find one another. All attempts to communicate will be shouting, leaving notes, marking path, or even damaging the walls will be met with failure. This level is truly an obstacle for one to face alone. The effect is persistent throughout the level, which can be extremely psychologically taxing for wanderers to press on. There is one exception, though, a small room in which people can see one another, but its ever-changing layout of level 0 makes encountering the room highly improbable. Huh. Well, that's weird. I see you right here, right? I'm not hallucinating or anything. We're fine. We're fine. Entities, oh boy. It is unknown whether or not entities exist on level 0. If they do, they are also likely subjected to the isolation effect. While none have been directly reported, wanderers have claimed to see dark figures stalking them between the hall corridors and experiencing scopophobia as they wander the yellow hell. Alright. Oh, hey, entrances and exits. It looks like there's something here. Falling out of reality is the most frequent way in entering level 0, though there are many entrances hidden throughout the greater whole of Backrooms. Oh, well, okay. And the exit. Survive long enough to find a flickering wall to throw yourself through. This will lead you to level 1 and the fragments of humanity still inhabiting this world. Almost every wanderer remembers the moment they realize the halls never end. The buzzing never falters. The rules of the world that they come from no longer apply. Level 0 is not the worst place in the Backrooms, it's just the first. Despite how it may seem, there are countless more terrible places you can and likely will find yourself in. If you've made it this far, you've already crossed the threshold. Welcome to the Backrooms. Heck yeah! Awesome, awesome. Well, that is level 0, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for all my stumbling, but you know what? Hey, it's all in fun. But anyway, we're going to keep on doing this. However, now I have a question for you. We have two options. So I do see a flickering wall, which they talked about, which says it could lead us to level 1. But I did notice something down a hallway not too far back, and now I'm a little too curious. My nose is saying something about a level 0.1? A subroom? Well, I don't know. Hey, you need to tell me. Are we going to level 1 or are we going to level 0.1? Well, in any case, my friends, thank you kindly for coming along with me in this journey, and I'll see you soon. Toodaloo!